Welcome to this evening's coverage of Minnesota high school baseball here on Spuds TV. I'm Brady Sari from the press box of Bucky Burgow Field on the campus of Concordia College here in Moorhead. Tonight's matchup will see the Moorhead Spuds playing host to the Fargo South Bruins. Spuds coming off of a win against Fargo Davies. Going over the starting lineups for both squads, starting with the visiting team of the Bruins, we've got shortstop Kobe Ebling, center fielder Hunter Geary. Doing the catching for the Bruins is Tate Barnacle. Left fielder is Brandon Hilmert. First baseman is Carson Sheik. Second baseman Ethan Dahl. Right fielder Evan Felber. Doing the pitching for Fargo South will be Mark Dahlman. And wrapping it up at third base is Skylar Burkhart. Going over the starting lineup for your Moorhead Spuds. Leading off, playing shortstop, will be Riley Dickhouse. Batting second, playing second, is Austin Schwantz. Center fielder, batting third, that'll be Tay Rich. Left fielder in the cleanup spot, Carson Heinch. Doing the catching, batting in the 5-hole, will be Carter Hutari. Playing first base today will be Ben Fredrickson. Across the diamond at third base will be Drake Kunza. Designated hitter today is Braden Kwame. And finishing up the lineup, right fielder Jonah Haran. Starting pitcher for tonight's game will be Adam Kunza. First pitch to Ebling there, right down the middle for strike one. 0-1 count to Ebling just outside, evens it up at 1-1. This is Adam Kunza's first appearance on the varsity squad here. Here's the 1-1. That one in there for strike two. Kunza looks in. Here's the 1-2 to Ebling. That one just misses outside, evens the count up at 2-2 here. Kunza delivers. Here's the 2-2. That one breaks in. Good pitch there from Adam Kunza for strike three.
Now stepping into the batter's box.
Good breaking ball on the inside part of the plate there, righty on righty. No chance for Ebling to get around on that one. One out now for Fargo South. That'll bring up their center fielder, Hunter Geary. First pitch to Geary in there for strike one. Here's the 0-1 to the Bruins center fielder. That one fouled off to the right side. That'll bring the count to 0-2 here. Here's the 0-2 to Geary. That one high and in. That'll be ball one. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Geary. That one fouled off to the left side. Count will remain at 1-2 here. Kunza gets his sign. Here's the 1-2 to Geary. That one misses inside. Evens the count up at 2 here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one misses outside. Full count here to Hunter Geary. Kunza set to deliver. Here's the payoff pitch. Swing or fouled off there just barely by Hunter Geary. Stays alive here. Count remains at 3-2. Another payoff pitch from Adam Kunza. That one hits Geary in the square of the back. He will go to first base here.
Now batting the catcher, number 2, Tate Barnacle.
That hit by pitch from Kunza will bring up the Bruins catcher, Tate Barnacle. Bruins have runner on first, 1 out here in the top of the first. Kunza from the stretch, looks in, checks the runner at first. First pitch to Barnacle, in there for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 to Barnacle. That one just missing high and out for ball 1. Evens the count. Kunza set to deliver the 1-1 here to Tate Barnacle. Here's the pitch. That one breaking ball in there for strike 2. Kunza showing good control of his breaking ball early in this game. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Runner goes, hit to the second baseman. Out at first, runner will advance. That'll go down as a fielder's choice for the Bruins. Now have 2 outs with a runner on second.
Left fielder, number 10, Brander Hilmert.
4-3 put out there brings up the Bruins cleanup spot hitter, left fielder, Brander Hilmert. First pitch he sees skied straight in the air. Carter Hutari goes back to receive it, and he's able to make the catch, and that'll end the top of the first here, so the Spuds get out. Bruins with no runs, no hits on no Moorhead errors. We'll be right back for the bottom of the first here on Spuds TV.
Selling land is a big decision. Knowing when and how to sell can be complicated. Let Steve Dalen, Farmland Sales eXp Realty, guide you through the sale process. Steve Dalen will bring you a local touch with nationwide support. Steve Dalen, Farmland Sales, where customers become clients, clients become friends. 701-893-8517 or stevedalenfarmlandsales.com.
Hi, my name's Carter Olson. And you're watching Spuds TV.
Bottom of the first underway here. Bruins left the top of the first scoreless here. First 3 batters coming up for the Spuds will be Riley Dickhouse, Austin Swanson, Tay Rich. Mark Dahlman on the mound for the Bruins here. Up to the plate here for the Spuds in the top or in the bottom of the first will be shortstop Riley Dickhouse. Dahlman set to deliver his first pitch of the game. Fouled off to the left side, 0-1. Dickhouse not wasting any time. Here's the 0-1. Slow breaking ball into the zone. Fly it out to the left fielder. 1 out.
Now batting for your Spuds, the second baseman, number 10, Austin Schwantz.
Fly out to left field brings up second baseman Austin Schwantz here for the Spuds. Here's the 0-0 pitch. That one grounded to the left side, fielded by the shortstop, double pumps, and Schwantz able to leg that one out, so that double clutch there by the shortstop, paying the price. Austin Schwantz on first safely.
Number 7, Tay Rich.
Runner on first, 1 out here for the Spuds, brings up the 3-hole hitter, Tay Rich. First pitch Rich sees, he hits into shallow center field. Runners will advance, so Spuds will have first and second with 1 out here in the bottom of the first.
Now batting for your Spuds, the left fielder, number 8, Carson Heinch.
First and second, 1 out here for the Spuds, brings up the cleanup hitter, Carson Heinch. Dahlman looks in, checks the runner on second. Here's the 0-0 pitch. That one misses the outside corner. That'll bring the count to 1-0. Here's the 1-0 to Heinch. Hard grounder to the left side. Foul ball. That'll even the count up at 1-1 here. Dahlman set. Here's the 1-1. Slow breaking ball, nearly missing Carson Heinch, able to get out of the way. Brings the count to 2-1 here. Here's the 2-1 to Heinch. That one just missing. Brings the count to 3-1 here. The 3-1 to Heinch. That one lifted into left field. Going back is the left fielder. Off the base of the wall. Austin Schwantz will be in to score. Tay Rich to third, and that'll be a 1 RBI double there for Carson Heinch.
Now coming to the plate for your Spuds, the catcher, number 14, Carter Terry.
After that 1-out double from Carson Heinch, that'll bring up the Moorhead catcher, Carter Terry. Runners on second and third here with 1 out. Dahlman out of the windup. First pitch to Terry. That one in there for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 to Terry. That one called for strike 2, brings the count to no balls and 2 strikes here. Here's the 0-2 to Terry. That one in there for strike 3, so 3 good pitches on the outside part of the zone for the second out of the bottom of the first. That'll bring up first baseman Ben Fredrickson.
Number 23, Ben Fredrickson.
2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Runners on second and third. First pitch to Ben Fredrickson. He sees that one and he rips it into the right center gap. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score. Fredrickson digging for second. Slide in, he will be safe. So another double here for the Spuds in the bottom of the first. Brings the score 3-0 here on the Martin Mechanical design
the third
scoreboard.
baseman, number 11, Drake Kunza.
2 RBI double there from Ben Fredrickson brings up third baseman Drake Kunza. Ben Fredrickson at second. Mark Dahlman back out of the stretch here. Here's the first pitch to Kunza. That one outside for ball 1. Dahlman comes set, checks the runner. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Kunza. Kunza lifts that one to the right side. That will fall out of the reach of the second baseman. That will advance Ben Fredrickson to third base. Kunza will stay at first.
Now coming to the plate,
That'll bring up Braden
designated
Kwame.
hitter, number 6, Braden Kwame.
Kwame designated hitter here for the pitcher Adam Kunza. Spuds have runners on first and third with 2 outs. Bruins catcher out, giving a play call here to the infielders with a first and third situation. Dahlman checks the runner. First pitch to Kwame. Catches the outside part of the plate. 1 strike. Dahlman set. Pickoff attempt over to first base. Unsuccessful. Dahlman comes set. The 0-1 to Kwame. Slow breaking ball. Kwame lifts that one into left field. Going back as a left fielder. It's over his head. Kunza is digging for third. He will score standing. Kwame hustles into second for another double for the Spuds in the first inning. That'll bring the score to 5-0 here with a bases clearing double. 5-0 now, 2 outs into the bottom of the first on the Martin Mechanical Design scoreboard. Brings up right fielder Jonah Haran as Bruins head coach will go out there to have a little mound visit.
Batting for your Spuds, number 9, Jonah Haran.
Quick mound visit there from head coach Nathan Sillerud brings up right fielder Jonah Haran. First pitch to him. First pitch swinging, that'll be strike 1 to Haran. Spuds have runners on second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the 0-1 to Haran. Slow breaking ball in there for strike 2. Dahlman sets. Here's the 0-2 to Haran. That one skips outside. That'll be ball 1 to the right fielder. Dahlman set to deliver the 1-2 pitch to Haran. Breaking ball outside, evens the count up at 2-2 here. Two's across the scoreboard now. Here's the pitch to Haran. That one skips low for ball 3. Kwame with the good read takes off and he'll reach third safely. Ball in the dirt, got just far enough away from Tate Barnacle for Kwame to take an extra base here. Spuds have runners on third now with 2 outs. Here's the payoff pitch to Haran. That one in there for strike 3. Good offensive inning here for the Spuds as they put on 5 runs with 6 hits. No Fargo South errors. We'll be right back for second inning coverage here on Spuds TV.
Pam is a small business owner. She is swamped. Pam knows she needs to advertise but is overwhelmed by all the options. Meet Avenue Right. Save time, money, and get peace of mind that your advertising dollars are well spent.
Second inning underway here from Bucky Burgall Field. Coming up for the Bruins will be the first baseman, Carson Sheik. First pitch to him, in there for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 to Sheik. Check swing, no call. That'll even the count up at 1-1 here. Coons is set. Here's the 1-1 to Sheik. That one grounded to the left side. Scooped up by Riley Dickhouse. Hard throw across to first baseman for the first out. Six-three put out there from the Spuds will bring up Ethan Dahl. First pitch to Dahl just outside. That'll be ball 1.
Bruins, their second baseman, number 9, Ethan Dahl.
Here's the 0-1 to the Bruins second baseman. That one breaks back into the zone for strike 1. Here's the 1-1 from Kunza. That one low and away brings the count to 2-1. 2-1 pitch now to Dahl. That one just missing on the outside part of the plate. Brings the count to 3-1. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That one stung to the right side, just out of the reach of Austin Schwantz, so Ethan Dahl will reach first base safely.
Coming to the plate for the Bruins.
That'll bring up the right fielder, Evan Felber. Here's the first pitch to Felber. That one gets out of the reach of Hutari, so Dahl will advance to second base here for the Bruins. They'll have one out here with runners on second now. 1-0 count to Evan Felber. (1-0) to Felber. That one in there for strike 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Felber. That one, good breaking ball on the inside part of the plate. Seen that a couple times already tonight. 1-2. Kunza looks in. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one just outside. Evens the count up at 2. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Felber. That one grounded to the left side. Slow roller picked up by Dickhouse. Thrown across. Not in time to get Felber, so Bruins will have runners on first and third with one out here to start the top of the second.
Now coming to the plate, number 3, Mark Dahlman.
First and third here with one out. Brings up the Fargo South pitcher, Mark Dahlman. Terry steps out in front of home plate to give his infielders a play call here. First pitch to Dahlman. In there for strike 1. Kunza set. Here's the 0-1 to Dahlman. Dahlman thought about it. Strike called. Brings the count to 0-2 here. Kunza set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Runner goes. Strike 3 called. Throw down. Got him at second base. Strike him out, throw him out to end the top of the second here. Bruins with no runs, 2 hits, no Moorhead errors. We'll be right back here on Spuds TV for the bottom of the second.
Natural talent, physical gifts, training advantages. To become a champion, none of that matters. True champions are the ones who are comfortable working harder, staying later, and finding that competitive edge. They are never satisfied simply doing a good job, because those who transform themselves from local talent into local folklore are the ones who continually perform beyond their limits. Bell Bank, proudly supporting champions everywhere.
Start the engine, shine the light into the storm. Knuckles white. The clock ticks. Time does not define me. It drives me to keep roads, schools, and storefronts open. Although the job is done for now, the clock will always.
Your home for Boss Snowplows is Bert's Truck Equipment on Highway 75 North in Moorhead.
Don't work out where you won't work out. Blueprint Personal Training. At Blueprint, you'll work directly with an experienced personal trainer and nutrition coach in our brand new private gym. Tell us about your fitness goals, and we'll provide the personalized workouts and motivation to get the results you want to see. Training, nutrition, accountability. Blueprint Personal Training. BlueprintFargo.com.
Bottom of the second underway here after that strike him out, throw him out to end the top of the second. Brings up the top of the Moorhead lineup, Riley Dickhouse. First pitch gets the outside part of the zone. 0-1 here to the Spuds leadoff hitter. Here's the 0-1. That one just outside, evens the count up at 1s. Here's the 1-1 to Dickhouse. Another slow breaking ball. Dickhouse fouls that one off to the right side. Brings the count to 1-2 here. Here's the 1-2 to Dickhouse. That one misses low. Ball 2. Here's the 2-2 count to Dickhouse. That one skips away. Brings a count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the payoff pitch from Dahlman. That one grounded up the middle, scooped up by the shortstop, over to the first baseman for the putout.
Stepping into the batter's box for your Spuds, their second baseman, number 10, Austin Schwantz.
6-3 putout from Ebling to Sheik brings up second baseman Austin Schwantz. First pitch he sees, called strike 1. Dahlman set. Here's the 0-1 to Schwantz. Schwantz pulls that one to the right side. Scooped up by Dahl, thrown over to Sheik. 2 outs.
Now batting for the Spuds, the center fielder, number 7, Tay Rich.
2 outs now to the Spuds center fielder, Tay Rich. Here's the 0-0 from Dahlman. Slow breaking ball. Poked into right center field. Tay Rich will reach safely here.
Coming to the plate for your Spuds, the left fielder, number 8, Carson Heinch.
Good speed on first base here for the Spuds. Brings up the cleanup hitter, Carson Heinch. Heinch with an RBI double just off the base of the left center wall, his last at-bat. Dahlman set to deliver. Runner goes. Inside pitch called ball. Tay Rich will reach safely at second base. One ball, no strikes. 2 outs here to Carson Heinch. Tay Rich on second base. Here's the 1-0. That one high and away brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the 2-0 to Heinch. That one hits the outside part of the zone. Brings the count to 2-1. 2-1 from Dahlman. That one fouled to the right side. Will bring the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes here to the Spuds cleanup hitter. Here's the 2-2. That one skips away. Tay Rich thought he had a chance, thrown out there from Barnacle. So that'll end the bottom of the second. We'll be right back here on Spuds TV for third inning coverage.
We are The Breakdown. For almost 2 decades, we've published the most comprehensive yearbooks on Minnesota high school sports and run the best in-season and off-season events. We cover every corner of the state. We are The Breakdown.
Looking to buy or sell your home in the Moorhead area? Look no further than RE/MAX Realty One. With 40 years of experience, I bring the expertise and knowledge, while Jace's energy and dedication make the process seamless and stress-free.
Real estate isn't just about transactions. It's about helping you achieve the American dream and build wealth for the future. As a proud Moorhead alumni, we know what it means to be a Spud. Once a Spud, always a Spud. Go Moorhead.
Before I became a real boy, life was easy. I just sat there doing sandwich stuff. But being alive is so hard. So if you don't want to get up to get a sandwich, you shouldn't have to.
Top of the third underway here from Bucky Burgow Field. Leading off here for the Bruins will be the third baseman, Skylar Burkhart. And a good first pitch there from Adam Kunze in there for strike one. Here's the 0-1 from Kunze. Fastball in there, fouled back for strike two. Kunze set, looks in. Here's the 0-2 to Burkhart. That one in there for strike three on the outside part of the zone. Kunze picks up another strikeout here to start the top of the third inning. Strikeout from Burkhart brings up the top of the order here for the Bruins. It'll be shortstop Kobe Ebling. First pitch from Kunze. Skied to the right side. And that one will carry foul. That'll make the count 0-1 here. Here's the 0-1 to the Bruins leadoff hitter. Breaking ball. Shot to the left side. Fielded by Dickhouse. Throw over to Fredrickson with the stretch. 2 outs.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 4, Hunter Geary.
6-3 put out there brings up the center fielder, Hunter Geary. First pitch outside, that'll be ball one. Kunze set. Here's the 1-0 to Geary. That one hits the outside part of the plate, evens the count up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here on the Martin Mechanical Design scoreboard. Good breaking ball in there, swing and a miss for strike 2. Kunze set. Here's the 1-2 to Geary. Fastball just missed low and outside. That'll bring the count to 2-2 here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball just misses on the inside part. Brings the count to 3-2 here. Payoff pitch from Kunze to Geary. Ground ball to the left side. That one will go foul here. Count remains full. Payoff pitch from Kunze. That one misses outside, so a walk for Hunter Geary here with 2 outs in the top of the third inning. That'll bring up the catcher, Tate Barnacle.
Now batting for the Bruins, their catcher, number 2, Tate Barnacle.
Runner on first, 2 outs here for the Bruins in the top of the third. Here's the first pitch to Barnacle. That one outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 from Kunze. That one fouled off to the right side. That'll bring the count to 1-1. Kunza looks in, comes set. Here's the 1-1 to Barnacle. That one just misses outside. Brings the count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 to Barnacle. Breaking ball in there. Skied to the right side. That one will sail foul. Evens the count up at 2. Two balls, 2 strikes to Barnacle. Breaking ball misses on the inside part of the plate. Kunza looks in, gets his sign. Here's the payoff pitch to Tate Barnacle. Runner takes off, and that one outside for ball 4. So Bruins will have runners on first and second here with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. That'll bring up the Bruins left fielder, Brander Hilmert. Here's the first pitch to Hilmert. That one in there for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 to Hilmert. That one misses outside for ball 1. One count to Brander Hilmert. Breaking ball there from Kunza misses outside for ball 2. Here's the 2-1. That one grounded to the left side, out of the reach of Drake Kunza, into left field. Runner coming home, throw from Carson Heinz up the first base line. Throw back over to first, not in time. So the Bruins will put a run on the board here in the top of the 3rd. They'll have runners on first and 3rd with 2 outs.
Now batting number 23, Carson Sheik.
RBI single there from Hilmert will bring up the first baseman, Carson Sheik. Bruins have runners on first and 3rd with 2 outs here. First pitch to him, that one outside for ball 1. Kunza gets his sign. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, strike 1. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here to Carson Sheik. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one catches the outside part of the zone. Brings the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one fouled off to the right side. Count remains at 1-2. Here's the 1-2 to Sheik. Breaking ball lifted in far into left field. Tracking it is Carson Heinz. He will make the play. So in the top of the 3rd, Bruins get 1 run on 1 hit. No Moorhead errors here. They leave 2 runners on base. We'll be right back here on Spuds TV for the bottom of the 3rd.
Hi, I'm Riley Dickhouse. And you're watching Spuds TV.
Show your school spirit with the Moorhead High Spuds debit card. Stop by First Community Credit Union to get yours today.
And coming to the plate for your Spuds, the left fielder, number 8, Carson Heinz.
Bottom of the third underway here from Bucky Burgow Field. Pitching now for the Bruins is Carson Sheik. Up to the plate here for the Spuds will be the cleanup hitter, Carson Heinz. First pitch from Sheik to Heinz. That one outside for ball 1 here. Here's the 1-0. That one outside, skips away. That'll bring the count to 2 balls and no strikes here. Here's the 2-0 to the Spuds left fielder. That one outside for ball 3. .30 count to Heinz. That one in there for strike 1. Here's the 3-1 to Heinz. That one outside, so on 5 pitches, Carson Heinz will reach safely at first base.
The catcher, number 14, Carter Huteri.
Brings up catcher Carter Huteri. Spuds will have runners on first. Nobody out here early in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Sheik checks the runner. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful over there at first base. Here's the first pitch to Huteri. That one finds the zone for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 to Huteri. Runner goes. Fouled back, so Carson Heinz will have to retreat to first base here as the count will be 0-2 to Huteri. No balls, 2 strikes to the Moorhead catcher. Here's the pitch. Runner goes again. That one outside for ball 1. Throw up the right side. And Carson Heinz will reach second base safely here. So 1-2 is the count to Huteri. Spuds now with a runner on second base and nobody out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's the 1-2 to Huteri. Swing and a miss, or foul tipped into the mitt. Strike 3. One out here to the Spuds. That'll bring up first baseman Ben Fredrickson.
First baseman, number 23, Ben Fredrickson.
Runner on second. One out here in the bottom of the third inning for the Spuds. Sheik looks in. Here's the first pitch to Fredrickson. Slow grounder up the first base line. Out called there at first. Carson Heinz able to advance after that fake pickoff play by Sheik got him diving back to second.
The third baseman, number 11, Drake Kunza.
2 outs here. Runner on third base. Drake Kunza up to the plate. First pitch to him. Check swing. No call there. That'll be ball 1. That one gets away from the catcher. Carson Heinz will score standing up there on the wild pitch. That'll bring the score to 6-1 here in the favor of the Spuds on the Martin Mechanical Design scoreboard. Kunza back in the box. 2-0 count to him. He reached safely his last at-bat with a fly ball to shallow right field as time is called. Here's the 2-0 to Kunza. That one low. Brings the count to 3-0 to the Moorhead third baseman. Here's the 3-0 count. That one skips low, so Kunza will reach safely on 4 pitches here. Brings up designated hitter Braden Kwame.
Now coming to the plate, the designated hitter number 6, Braden Kwame.
First pitch to Kwame. First one he sees fouled to the left side. Brings the count to 0-1. Kwame reached safely his last at-bat with a fly ball into left center field. Time called at the plate here. Kwame recomposes. Here's the 0-1 from Sheik. That one just missing on the outside part of the plate. That'll even the count at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 to Kwame. That one skips low, ball 2. Here's the 2-1 to Kwame. That one fouled off in the box. Evens the count up at 2. Here's the 2-2 to Kwame. Kunza takes off, but swing and a miss, strike 3, so that'll end the third inning. Spuds put one back on the board here as the score is 6-1 on the Martin Mechanical Design scoreboard. We'll be right back with fourth inning coverage here on Spuds TV.
For Boss Snowplows is Burt's Truck Equipment on Highway 75 North in Moorhead.
Fourth inning underway here. Leading off in the fourth inning for the Bruins will be second baseman Ethan Dahl. Here's the 1-0 to Dahl. That one just misses outside, brings the count to 2-0. Here's the 2-0 from Kunza. Breaking ball in there for strike one. Here's the 2-1 to Dahl. That one slips out of the hand of Kunza, brings the count to 3-1 here to Ethan Dahl. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That one skips low and away for ball four. So leadoff batter here for the Bruins will reach safely. They'll have a runner on first with nobody out.
To the plate, number 15, Evan Felber.
That'll bring up Evan Felber to the plate here for Fargo South. Kunza checks the runner. Here's the first pitch to Felber. That one skied into right field. Not able to track it down is Jonah Haran. Dahl will hustle into second base. He'll make it safely. So Bruins got something cooking here in the top of the fourth inning with runners on first and second, nobody out. Up to the plate now for Fargo South will be Mark Dahlman. Possible bunt situation here for Fargo South with runners on first and second and nobody out. First pitch, Dahlman does show. Strike will be called there. Runners don't advance. Here's the 0-1 to Dahlman. Squares around again. Gets that one down in front of the plate. Picked up by Hutari. Throw over to first base. That'll get the out, but runners will advance, so Bruins will have second and third with one out.
Now batting number 16, Skylar Burkhart.
Bruins with one out here. Two runners in scoring position. That'll bring up the bottom of the order, Skylar Burkhart. First pitch from Kunza. That one low and away for ball one. Here's the 1-0 to Burkhart. Breaking ball in there, fouled back. Evens the count at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 to Burkhart. That one lifted into center field. Tay Rich tracks it. Makes the catch. Runner from third will tag. That's Ethan Dahl. Runner will score, so it'll go down as a sacrifice fly there for Burkhart. That'll bring the score to 6-2 on the Martin Mechanical Design scoreboard. Spud's appealing over there to third base, just to check if the runner took off early before the catch. No appeal called, so it'll be two outs here with a runner on second. Here's the first pitch to Ebeling. In there for, or high for ball one. One 0 to Ebeling. That one skips away from Huteri, so runners will advance. Count will be 2-0 to the top of the Bruins order. Here's the 2-0 to Ebling. Breaking ball in there brings the count to 2-1. Two-one to the Fargo South leadoff hitter. That one skied into left center field. Camping under it will be Carson Heinz, and that'll end the top of the fourth. Bruins able to put one back on the scoreboard. 1 run, 1 hit. No Moorhead errors as they leave 1 runner on. We'll be right back here on Spuds TV for the bottom of the 4th inning.
Hi, my name's Carter Olson.
My name's Tay Rich.
I'm Easton Gross. Riley Dickhouse. Carter Gutierrez.
Drake Kunza.
And you're watching Spuds TV.
Northwest Blinds is a proud supporter of all Moorhead Spuds activities. For over 30 years, we have been providing customers with a wide assortment of window covering choices. Owners Arlen and Carlos Swenson are available by appointment for a free in-home consultation on all your window covering needs. 218-236-4813 or nwblinds.com. At Northwest Blinds, we say, you'll wish you had more windows, and go Spuds.
Bottom of the 4th inning. Up here will be Jonah Haran. He'll lead off for the Spuds. First pitch outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 to the Spuds right fielder. Swing and a miss. That'll bring the count to 1 ball and 1 strike here. The 1-1 pitch from Sheik. Good breaking ball there. Catches Haran out in front. Brings the count to 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Haran. Haran lifts that one to the right side, and it will soar foul, so count will remain at 1-2 here. Here's the 1-2 to Haran. In there, swing and a miss for strike 3.
Now coming to the plate for your Spuds, the shortstop, number 4, Riley Dickhouse.
Strikeout of Jonah Haran there will bring up the top of the order for the Spuds. It'll be shortstop Riley Dickhouse. First pitch there to Dickhouse, low for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 to Dickhouse. Breaking ball. Catches the inside part of the zone there for strike 1. Here's the 1-1 to Dickhouse. That one misses high and in, brings the count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 to Dickhouse. That one hit sharply to the right side, scooped up by Dahl, throw over to first, picked cleanly there. So first out, or the second out recorded of the 4th inning brings up second baseman Austin Schwantz. First pitch to Schwantz. He gets a great bunt down the third base line. Third baseman waits just long enough for it to go foul. So count will go to 0-1 here. Here's the 0-1 to Schwantz. No bunt attempt there. That'll even the count at 1-1 here. Swing and a miss, strike 2 there to Austin Schwantz. Here's the 1-2 to from Sheik to Schwantz. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on that breaking ball. So a quick bottom of the fourth here. No runs, no hits, no Bruin errors there in the bottom of the fourth. We'll be right back on Spuds TV for the 5th inning.
Selling land is a big decision. Knowing when and how to sell can be complicated. Let Steve Dalen, Farmland Sales eXp Realty, guide you through the sale process. Steve Dalen will bring you a local touch with nationwide support. Steve Dalen, Farmland Sales, where customers become clients, clients become friends. 701-893-8517 or stevedalenfarmlandsales.com.
Of the 5th for the Bruins. Number 4.
5th inning underway here. Spuds have a 6-2 lead here over Fargo South on the Martin Mechanical Design scoreboard. Leading off for Fargo South will be Hunter Geary. First pitch he sees skied straight up in the infield. Talk able to make the catch there was third baseman Drake Kunza calling off his little brother on the mound. So a quick first out here for the Spuds in the 5th inning.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 2, Tate Barnacle.
Pop out there. We'll bring up catcher Tate Barnacle. First pitch from Kunza in there for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 from Kunza, grounded right back to him. Kunza will take it himself all the way to first base to record the second out.
Now batting number 10, Brander Hilmert.
1-3 put out there for the Spuds. We'll bring up Brander Hilbert. First pitch, fastball in there for strike 1 on the inside part to Hilmert. Oh, 1 in there for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here to Hilmert. Fastball from Kunza outside brings the count to 1-2. Here's the 1-2 from Kunza. Breaking ball in there. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Bruins, no runs, no hits, no Moorhead errors there in the top of the fifth. No runners left on. We'll be right back here on Spuds TV for the bottom of the fifth inning.
Hi, my name's Carter Olson. And you're watching Spuds TV.
Pam is a small business owner. She is swamped. Pam knows she needs to advertise but is overwhelmed by all the options. Meet Avenue Right. Save time, money, and get peace of mind that your advertising dollars are well spent.
Natural talent, physical gifts, training advantages. To become a champion, none of that matters. True champions are the ones who are comfortable working harder, staying later, and finding that competitive edge. They are never satisfied simply doing a good job, because those who transform themselves from local talent into local folklore are the ones who continually perform beyond their limits. Bell Bank, proudly supporting champions everywhere.
Leading off in the bottom of the fifth here for the Spuds will be center fielder Tay Rich. On the mound now for Fargo South will be Kobe Ebling. First pitch from Ebling to Rich. Just low for ball one. Here's the 1-0 to Rich. Outside for ball two. Rich steps in. Here's the 2-0 from Ebling. That one low, ball three. Four-pitch walk will start the bottom of the fifth here. Brings up the cleanup hitter, Carson Heinch.
Number 8, Carson Heinch.
Here's the first pitch to Heinch. Runner goes. There will be no throw, so Tay Rich will reach safely. One ball, no strikes, no outs here to Carson Heinch. Spuds have runner on second base. Here's the 1-0 from Ebling. That one outside for ball two. Here's the 2-0 to Heinch. That one skips out of the reach of third baseman. Tay Rich thought about going. Will hold up at third base. So Spuds will have runners on first and third here in the bottom of the fifth with no outs. Brings up catcher Carter Huteri. Ebling set to deliver. Here's the 0-0 to Huteri. Runner goes. Check swing. He will reach second safely. Throw gets away from the third baseman. Tay Rich will score. Carson Heinz will advance to third base. So Spuds get a free one there. Brings the score to 7-2 on the Martin Mechanical Design scoreboard. 0-1 is the count to Carter Huteri now with no outs. Runner on third base. Infielders playing shallow here, attempting to cut off the plate at home, but Carter Huteri will knock that one right down the right field line. Carson Heinz will score, and Carter Huteri will reach first safely with an RBI single. No outs still in the bottom of the fifth inning. Runners on first base. That brings up first baseman Ben Fredrickson. Courtesy running here for catcher Carter Huteri will be Connor Zimmerman. First pitch to Fredrickson. That one outside for ball one. One-0 pitch there to Fredrickson. That one will catch the outside part of the zone. Brings the count to 1 strike here to the Moorhead first baseman. Pickoff attempt over to first base, unsuccessful. Here's the 1-1 from Ebling. Fredrickson skies that one foul in right field. That one will land. Brings the count to 1 strikes here. One-two count from to Fredrickson. Here's the pitch from Ebling. That one inside, evens the count up at 2 strikes. Foul ball right in front of the plate there will leave the count at 2 strikes to Ben Fredrickson. Another pickoff attempt over there at first, unsuccessful. 2 strikes, no outs here to Ben Fredrickson. Here's the 2-2. That one outside, 3-2 count now. Here's the payoff pitch from Ebling. Runner goes. Grounded to the left side. Throw pulls the first baseman off the bag, able to make the tag, however. So runner will advance. It'll go down as a fielder's choice there for Ben Fredrickson. So the Spuds will have runners on second base. One out here. That brings up third baseman Drake Kunza. First pitch to Drake Kunza, skied high into left field. Left fielder chasing it down, able to make a nice sliding grab there. So 2 outs now. Brings up designated hitter Braden Kwame. Runner on second, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth inning. First pitch from Ebling to Kwame. First one he sees, grounded sharply right back to the pitcher. Ebling able to make the grab and get the easy put out, but the Spuds put two more runs on the board. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 runner left on, 1 Fargo South error. Score is currently 8-2 in favor of the Spuds. We'll be right back here on Spuds TV for the 6th inning.
Start the engine, shine the light into the storm. Knuckles white, and the clock ticks. Time does not define me, it drives me. To keep roads, schools, and storefronts open. Although the job is done for now, the clock will always.
Your home for Boss Snowplows is Burt's Truck Equipment on Highway 75 North in Moorhead.
Don't work out where you won't work out. Blueprint Personal Training. At Blueprint, you'll work directly with an experienced personal trainer and nutrition coach in our brand new private gym. Tell us about your fitness goals, and we'll provide the personalized workouts and motivation to get the results you want to see. Training, nutrition, accountability. Blueprint Personal Training. BlueprintFargo.com.
We are the Breakdown. For almost 2 decades, we've published the most comprehensive yearbooks on Minnesota high school sports and run the best in-season and off-season events. We cover every corner of the state. We are the Breakdown.
Leading off in the top of the 6th here for Fargo South will be Carson Sheik. Kunza looks in, comes set. Here's the first pitch to Sheik. That one misses just low for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 to Sheik. That one way outside, brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the 2-0 from Kunza. That one finds the zone. That'll make the count 2 balls and 1 strike to Sheik. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Good breaking ball in there. Evens the count up at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 to Sheik. That one low. Brings the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kunza set. Here's the payoff pitch. That one roped up the middle. Fielded by Rich. So Carson Sheik will reach safely here in the top of the 6th inning. Brings up second baseman Ethan Dahl here for the Bruins. They'll have a runner on first and nobody out. Here's the first pitch to Dahl. That one outside. 1-0 count. Kunza set to deliver. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Dahl. That one low and out. Brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the 2-0. Fastball in there, right back to the pitcher. 1, 6, 3. Double play there for the Spuds in the top of the 6th inning. Adam Kunza to Riley Dickhouse, over to Ben Fredrickson. 2 quick outs here for the Spuds in the bottom of the 6th inning. That'll bring up Evan Felber here for the Bruins.
Evan Felber.
First pitch just high for ball 1. 1-0 pitch to Felber. That one ripped to the right side. That'll be a foul ball. Evens the count up at 1-1 here. Here's the 1-1 to Felber. That one just low for ball 2. Coons is set to deliver the 2-1 pitch to Felber. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That'll even the count up here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Here's the 2-2 from Kunza. That one just low. Brings the count full here to Evan Felber. Kunza looks in, gets his sign, comes set. Here's the payoff pitch to Felber. Breaking ball, check swing, appeal, no call. So Felber will reach first base here. Be 2 outs. Runner on first base here for the Bruins. Brings up number 13, Caden Nelson. Here's the first pitch to Nelson, grounded sharply to Riley Dickhouse. He'll take the easy route, flip over to Austin Schwantz, and that'll be the end of the top of the 6th. So after successfully erasing the leadoff single there with a 1-6-3 double play, Bruins come out of the 6th inning with no runs, 1 hit, no Moorhead errors. We'll be right back here on Spuds TV for the bottom of the 6th inning.
Looking to buy or sell your home in the Moorhead area? Look no further than RE/MAX Realty One. With 40 years of experience, I bring the expertise and knowledge, while Jace's energy and dedication make the process seamless and stress-free.
Real estate isn't just about transactions. It's about helping you achieve the American dream and build wealth for the future. As a proud Moorhead alumni, we know what it means to be a Spud. Once a Spud, always a Spud. Go Moorhead.
Before I became a real boy, life was easy. I just sat there doing sandwich stuff. But being alive is so hard. So if you don't want to get up to get a sandwich, you shouldn't have to.
Hi, I'm Riley Dickhouse. And you're watching Spuds TV.
Show your school spirit with the Moorhead High Spuds debit card. Stop by First Community Credit Union to get yours today.
Evan Felber will take over on the mound here for the Bruins. In the bottom of the 6th inning, leading off for the Spuds will be Jonah Horan. First pitch he sees will be low and away for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 to Horan. He rips that one sharply to the left side. Scooped up by Sheik, thrown over to Nelson for the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning. Brings up the top of the Moorhead order. It'll be Riley Dickhouse.
For your Spuds, the shortstop, number 4, Riley Dickhouse.
Here's the 0-0 from Felber to Dickhouse. That one will skip low for ball 1. One 0 pitch to Dickhouse. That one just catches the outside part of the zone. Evens the count at 1-1. Felber with the 1-1 to Dickhouse. He grounds that one to the left side. Skips past the third baseman. Carson Sheik at shortstop, unable to field it cleanly, so Riley Dickhouse will reach first safely. It'll be runner on first, one out here for Austin Schwantz.
Number 10, Austin Schwantz.
Schwantz with a bunt attempt, his last at bat. We'll see if he squares around again. First pitch swinging there from Schwantz. Sliding is the left fielder. It skips away from him. Riley Dickhouse will reach third base. Schwantz over to second. Brings up center fielder Tay Rich here.
Coming to the plate for your Spuds, the center fielder, number 7, Tay Rich.
Good spot here for Rich as there's runners on second and third with one out in the bottom of the 6th inning on the Martin Mechanical Design scoreboard. First pitch from Felber to Rich. That one high and in for ball 1. Felber off the left side of the mound delivers for ball 2. Here's the 2-0 to the Spud center fielder. That one in there for strike 1. Felber's set. Here's the 2-1 to Tay Rich. That one roped to the right side, just foul. So count will be 2-2 here. Here's the 2-2 from Felber. That one grounded to the left side. Let's see if Tay Rich can beat it out. Carson Sheik with a good throw across the diamond. Able to get the out there at first base.
Now batting for your Spuds, the left fielder, number 8, Carson Heinch.
Will go down as a sacrifice there for Tay Rich as Riley Dickhouse scored from third. So there will be 2 outs. Runner on third base here for the cleanup hitter, Carson Heinch. And the first pitch to Heinch will be in there for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 to Carson Heinch. That one inside, evens the count at 1-1. The 1-1 to Heinch. That one fouled straight back. Brings the count to 1-2 here. Here's the 1-2 to Heinch. That one just misses on the inside part. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Felber set. Here's the 2-2 to Heinch. Grounded to the right side. Second baseman able to field it. Good throw over to first base. Appeal to first. He'll say that Nelson pulled his foot, so Heinz will reach safely. As another run will score here, that brings the Spuds lead to 10-2 in the 6th inning on the Martin Mechanical Design scoreboard. Fargo South coach out to talk to the umpire on that play. Was a close play at first base, but field umpire appealed over to the home umpire, and he said that Nelson pulled his foot at first base, so Carson Heinz will reach safely. Carter Huteri will be up next to bat here. Long discussion here on the right side of the infield. Seems to be debating when the foot pulled and when he made the catch. And it seems like they've come to closure here. Carson Heinz will remain at first base with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Carter Huteri will be the batter. Here's the first pitch from Felber to Huteri. First one he sees, grounded sharply to the right side. Picked up there by Ethan Dahl, and that will end the top of the 6th, but not before the Spuds put 2 more runs on the board here. It is 10-2 in favor of the Spuds here. We'll be right back for the top of the 7th inning here on Spuds TV.
For Boss Snowplows is Bert's Truck Equipment on Highway 75 North in Moorhead.
Hi, my name's Carter Olson.
My name's Tay Rich.
I'm Easton Gross. Riley Dickhouse. Carter Huteri.
Drake Kunza.
And you're watching Spuds TV.
Taking over on the mound here in the top of the 7th for the Spuds will be Connor Zimmerman. First pitch there, hit into right field, so leadoff hitter for the Bruins in the 7th inning will reach safely.
Now batting leadoff hitter number 6, Colby Ebeling.
Leadoff single there from Burkhart will bring up the top of the order for the Bruins. It'll be Colby Ebeling. First pitch to Ebling, grounded to Dickhouse. He takes it to second, over to first, double play. So Riley Dickhouse with an unassisted double play here in the top of the 7th. That's a quick 2 outs here for the Spuds.
The Spuds baseball program. Every time a double play is turned and or a home run is hit by your Spuds, a Men's Hair Company double play.
So very quickly here in the 7th inning, there's 2 outs for the Bruins as the first pitch he sees skied to right field. Jonah Haran camps under it, and that's the ball game. So the Spuds take it over here against the Bruins 10-2. Spuds end this game with 10 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. Fargo South Bruins with 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors. And with a dominant pitching performance by Adam Kunza, closed out by Connor Zimmerman, Spuds will win this one 10-2 on the Martin Mechanical scoreboard. And at Spuds TV, I'm Brady Sorry. Have a great night.